Before we get into the podcast, we would like to acknowledge the traditional owners and custodians of the land on which we are recording this podcast today, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. We extend our respect to their elders past and present, and also to any First Nations, Aboriginal or Torres Strait people listening today.
1, 2, 3, let's go!
Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Weekender Creative Podcast.
Woo!
My name is Megs.
And I'm Tommy.
And we make up Weekender Creative. This is our first podcast episode. So today we're going to be sort of giving you a little background as to who we are, what Weekender Creative's about, and yeah.
Yeah. well, how about like we get to know you a little bit first, or get to know us.
Yeah.
I've actually prepared a few questions for you so the audience can kind of get a better picture of who you are.
That is great, but first we have something to do. If you guys are watching on YouTube, you will see there is a mysterious bottle sitting on our desks in between us.
Yes.
And I decided today to grab a cheap bottle of Prosecco for us to pop and drink to celebrate our first episode of Weekender Creative Podcast. It is a cheap bottle. There is no recommendations here.
Nothing wrong with a cheap bottle.
Balling on a budget. Anyway, I'm going to pop that for ASMR.
Yes.
I literally got it 90% for ASMR purposes. 10% drinking. So
Do the honors, babe.
let's do it. Here she is.
What's the label?
I don't know if we're giving any recommendations right now.
Just for the sake of it.
It's from Vintage Cellars. Hopefully we get good ASMR for everybody. Here we go. Episode 1, Weekender Creative Podcast. Woo! That was an audio spike.
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
I might have to quiet that down in post.
And while that's happening, how did we come to like the decision to start this podcast?
This podcast, well, I guess I was sort of trying to find my place in the Weekender world. We both run Weekender, and I was like, I come from podcasting background, and I was like, hey, I think we should do a podcast. This is something I'm happy to like try and get off the ground, I guess, with Weekender. And it's just another outlet for Weekender for us to talk about our adventures, our lives, the business side of Weekender. Do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I think we're also expanding our content production in terms of how our audience can experience our content. Traditionally, we've been more on TikTok and Instagram. However, we would love to get in your ears and,
In there.
Yeah, to have you listen to us through the art of the podcast. So
Yeah.
to celebrate that, let's have a little toast.
Yeah, okay.
So to the Weekender Creative Podcast, episode 1, first of many. Congratulations to us, and we're in for a wild and fun and wacky adventure.
Oh, she's wacky. Okay.
Through the audio grapevines.
Alrighty, cheers.
Cheers.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Let us know if you like ASMR, everybody, because we may or may not continue with this route. We are doing audio, but we're also doing visual for this podcast. So if you want to see us recording this podcast, we're on youtube.com/weekendercreative.
That's right.
Yeah. So pick your poison, ladies and gentlemen. If you like to watch a podcast in the background while you're trying to do something, or you just want to listen to us on your walk, however you want to consume us, please do. For you to get to know us, we're going to ask each other some questions.
Cool.
Tommy.
Yes.
What is your name, age, and occupation?
Well, my name is Tommy. I'm currently 20. My 20s
Oh my God, yeah. You're
I'm 25. Oh gosh, you never know these days.
Uh-huh.
And my occupation is I work as a content producer in the social media industry.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, how about yourself? What's your name, age, and occupation?
My name's Megs, and I am 24.
Ooh.
Shortly, I will be 25.
Very
Next
shortly.
month, everybody don't forget. And I work in admin in the fashion industry
Awesome.
currently.
Great.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe I'll have a turn at a question.
Yeah, go for it.
So, Megs, what are your personal passions?
My personal passions involve my family, my friends, travel, exploration. Recently, I've finally got back into sort of working out my creative muscles, and I'm sort of on that journey at the moment, dabbling in a few different mediums that I used to before. So that's currently what I'm passionate about, is sort of like growing at the moment and learning.
Never stop growing, never stop learning,
Yeah. Anyway, that's just
Student of life.
Yeah, I am a student of life. It's like literally family, friends, and growth right now. That's my passion.
Hey, that's what's up,
Yeah, what about you? What are your personal passions?
My passions, I love to hang out with family and friends as well. I'm also really driven by, like yourself, like creative mediums and formats as well. So I love a bit of photography. Recently got into videography. Can't sing, but I enjoy karaoke.
Oh my God.
And just love exploring. The other thing that I really love is food and drink.
We do love food and drink, and that is a lot of what Weekender is about, and we'll get to that. But speaking of creativity, I want to hear from you when you first felt like you started to take your creativity seriously. If you've always been creative, or if it's like something you kind of knew and then figured out at one point.
Yeah, okay. Well, my I guess one of my biggest creative kind of like ventures is getting into photography. So I got into taking photos just after high school. Do you want to hear the story about that?
I would love to.
So in high school, I always thought that I was going to be a graphic designer, to be honest.
Yeah.
I always thought that, marketing, branding, graphic design, that was my thing. And I really wanted to accelerate my growth in that by doing like another creative visual medium that kind of sat adjacent to graphic design.
Yeah.
So I was like, photography is really good because you can learn color, composition, seeing things in real time. That's going to be like, really, it's going to really help with it's going to help with my graphic design.
Yeah.
So I bought like a cheap little Samsung camera. They actually don't make them anymore. It was a Samsung NX500.
Okay, for all those photography nerds, there you go.
And after high school, me and a couple of friends, we went to Korea, just like to do like a bit of travel for a couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. And so that was when I got to know this camera really well, because before that I didn't really use anything. Like I think I only just used like my iPod Touch to take photos or whatever. Yeah. But with this camera, I was able to learn like, all the different settings, what aperture meant, how shutter speed affected photos, and then also capturing South Korea in real time on the street, on the beach, in the snow, that kind of thing. And it was just like, maybe it was like the added fun and excitement of being on holiday, but I just really enjoyed taking photos. Yeah. And so once I came back to Melbourne, I was like, wow, this is so cool. I'm going to bring my camera everywhere. So I ended up bringing my camera to like, just going out to a friend's place, I'd bring my camera. Going on hikes, I'd bring my camera. And I'd just start snapping like random photos and like, just trying to like get good at a bit of everything. I would get kind of like annoyed when people, like family members, might ask me, he loves taking photos. Bring your camera to the family function. Yeah, like that was the line. That was too much. But other than that, I just bring my camera everywhere. And then since then I've been kind of just like practicing photography, semi-pro.
Semi-pro. He says semi-pro. He's a professional. Everybody. For those of you who don't know Tommy, he was named the best portrait photographer in Melbourne.
Nah, that was just a small magazine.
Yeah, just a small magazine. Whatever. He's really, really talented.
Semi-pro because it's not a full-time thing.
But you're a professional photographer. Come on. If you guys don't know Tommy at this point, please go to his Instagram at Tommy Core and check out his Instagram. Then you'll figure out how good he is. But he talks himself down a little bit. It's annoying.
Nah, it's got a hashtag stay humble.
Oh,
Always
God.
student of life. Student of life.
God.
Well, how about yourself? What is your kind of like, what's been your creative journey?
Gosh, mine has been really up and down. I think my creativity has always kind of been there. I've always dabbled a little bit, but I was always the sporty kid when I was younger, and I just identified as being sporty rather than creative because that's what I did more of. My background is like, I always did all the arty subjects in high school, but out of school it was all sport, so that's how I identified. I loved painting specifically in high school, and that's where I started being creative, like just the old watercolor.
Okay, I like it, Picasso.
But yeah, I ended up, once I left high school, I sort of didn't continue my creativity. I focused solely on sport. I was a semi-pro basketball player, actual semi-pro. This guy says semi-pro photographer. He's a professional. I was actually
Nah, you're
semi-pro.
pretty good. You're pretty good at basketball.
Anyway, I got the chance to play in the Big V League, playing state champ, which was really exciting for me, and that was all going well until I did my ACL. I ruptured my ACL and I sort of had a bit of an identity crisis. It was around the time we just started to go into lockdown, so I was super down and out, really. I had my knee done. I was like, who am I out of sport? And that's when I started to lean on my creative vices. And that came in the form of a podcast. I've always liked talking a bit of shit, a bit of smack. And it was classic, like on Zoom with my friend in lockdown. We were like, oh my God, we should record this. So stupid. Anyway, I created a podcast called Sunday Wine with my friend, and that's when I really started getting serious about being creative again, because I had to create, the graphics for Sunday Wine and record and edit, and that was super fun. I have dabbled in YouTube before, but that is all privated now.
Unlisted videos.
Yeah, unlisted. No one can see that. But yeah, my creativity has mainly been in podcasts for the past couple of years. Anyway, yeah, that's how I started to get creative again. And then just recently I started reading the book, The Artist's Way, which has really inspired me to, sort of lean into other creative mediums. Yeah, I'm very creative at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. I think...
I've done a 180.
Yeah, but also you've also kept, I guess, all your experiences from back then as well, and you're kind of just really growing further upwards and forwards and upwards. Is that how you say it?
Upwards and onwards.
Upwards and onwards.
Upwards, aperture.
Upwards.
Man speaking photography.
Bro.
Yeah, so that's my story. And now we're here. I was like, let's do another podcast.
Yeah,
I can't get enough.
I think it's so interesting how different people have the different creative mediums that really drive them to become more creative. And I think podcast is such an interesting one because it's we live in a world where it's so visual, but I think people underestimate maybe how powerful it is to listen to something and even from a bit of my 9-to-5 work, how important sounds are for a piece of content.
Absolutely. And once I started listening to podcasts, it's like a rabbit hole. I can't go a day without listening to a podcast. It's just it really gets me going.
Yeah.
I have to listen to one when I'm going for a walk, when I'm going to the gym. It's just a great time. Honestly, if you guys don't listen to podcasts, but you're listening to this one,
you probably do.
There's a whole world of podcasts out there that you could get into. Anyway, I feel like we've had enough of talking about us. We can talk about us in future episodes. But let's talk about what Weekender Creative is, what it has been, and where it's going.
Yeah.
Tell me, where did Weekender start? what is Weekender?
Yeah, well, Weekender Creative, I guess as it currently stands, is a social media based TikTok media page where we showcase some of the best activities you can do in regional Victoria and also now Metro Victoria. Metro Melbourne, sorry.
And also Australia. We've had one interstate trip so far.
Yeah. Yes, so we're expanding to Australia and essentially we are showing you where the best wineries are, where the best restaurants are, where to stay in Victoria or Australia, where to go essentially, how to plan a weekend trip, just how to have a good time and how to spend your weekend in like a fun and exciting way.
How to get out, it's like a to-do list really, like
bucket list
vibes. And this podcast is going to be the behind the scenes of that as well. We're going to be talking business of Weekender. We're going to be talking about the people behind Weekender, which is us, and how it happens.
Yeah.
We'll be interviewing some business people, some people that inspire us for Weekender, and also give you the best recommendations, of course.
Yeah, and I think it's really fun for us because throughout this journey, we are able to share with you our thoughts and experiences. And I like to say that we're pretty unbiased in terms of our opinions. So, it's coming from a real place.
Yeah.
And I think there's so... I kind of cringe when people say Melbourne's boring.
Melbourne is the least boring.
Yeah, when people say, oh, I just can't wait to get out of Melbourne, or there's nothing to do in Victoria. I'm like, bro, there is so much to do.
The Melbourne haters need to get out. It's always the Sydney siders, I reckon.
You reckon?
They're like, Melbourne is hell. But we're here to prove that it's actually a decent place.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
They're just not going to the right places. Am I right?
Yeah, there are so many great finds, and really just hidden gems. You really have to have an open mind when it comes to trying out new places. You can't be stuck in your old borough or whatever.
Yeah, I guess so. And it's not just Metro, it's also regional Vic, which is where the gems are, I reckon.
People think that regional Vic is just a wasteland, just fields of tumbleweed and
hay.
and hay and a highway.
Cows.
But honestly, actual gold, gems,
you
mountains.
can find gold in regional Victoria.
Yeah, you really can.
Literally.
It's the gold rush.
Anyway, yeah, so that's sort of the vibe of what Weekender has been. We have predominantly been on TikTok with our recommendations, and yeah, this is just here to expand and sort of give you more info behind the scenes and just talk about our lives, how we got here, what we're doing, what we plan to do in the future for business. If you're business minded, we'll be talking a lot of business. If you like a laugh, we're here to entertain and hang shit on each other.
Oh, no.
It also in future episodes we'll talk about doing business with a partner, because if you don't know, Tommy and I are...
Wow, if you could never have guessed.
Yeah, we are very much in love.
Ooh, so sappy.
And we also have a child, Pino. We haven't talked about him yet.
Little boy.
Yeah, our child Pino, full name Pinot Noir Quo.
Yeah, we're actually alcoholics.
I swear we're not. His name came from visiting lots of wineries and getting into wine, which we are definitely amateurs. You can come on our learning journey of wines as well.
Yeah, we just love to drink for the sake of it.
And the vibes. We're here for the vibes. A winery vibe is the best vibe.
Yeah, I love a good winery. My God.
We could talk for hours about wineries. Anyway, he's a English staffy. He's a little 11-month-old. He's nearly 1, and he is our child.
Yeah, he's adorable. Just a little ball of strong
energy,
strong fur and energy.
Yeah, he's a vibe.
Yeah.
I need to stop saying vibe. He's a good boy.
He's a very good boy.
And he comes on a lot of our adventures with us, so that's why we're mentioning him here.
Yeah.
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 Ooh, it's hot in here, guys. This light is And I'm wearing trackies. Sorry for all of those people that are watching YouTube. I am in the most mismatched outfit.
I'm in shorts and socks and sandals.
Oh, man's just been to the gym. I just got out of the shower. I've got wet hair still. But, you know, we're keeping it real.
we definitely keep it real. Well, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
What excites you most about Weekender Creative?
Oh, Weekender Creative, it actually really excites me genuinely. From giving me more creative outlets, I guess. On top of that, I get to explore, which I love doing. We get to travel. We've been lucky enough to be invited places. That's really exciting. Getting into the world of influencing, quote unquote, influencing.
Yep.
We're not really that... I guess we're just showcasing places. It's not really about us in the TikToks. It's just nice to be going places, exploring new things.
Yeah.
What do I love about Weekender? I don't know. It's just fun to do with you.
It is fun.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just having a great time.
Weekender Creative is, I mean, I guess because we both treat it as a hobby, but elevated and like taken to the next level, it's always going to be like, it's still going to have that enjoyment factor.
It's just really exciting.
It really just stems from like our passion for exploration, for having fun, having a good beverage or a nice meal. Like it's just all that wrapped up in a tight little piece of content.
But then also, it also, on the other side of that, we get to create content out of that, which also fulfills us. So it's like a great combo. And we get to spend quality time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I answered that correctly.
No, you definitely did. Like,
it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, you answered it in the most elaborate way, and that's great.
Okay, amazing. Okay, have you got anything else for me?
Yeah, I've got another one for you. What's been your favorite Weekender Creative video to date?
Oh, I've got mine. Easy money.
I think I know which one of yours is going to be.
Yeah, so my favorite Weekender video to date was a part of the Visit Ballarat campaign we did. Was that what you were thinking or no?
No.
Oh, okay. So my favorite was this experience we got to do, which was called, what was it called? Shared Table. It was this amazing dinner where it was pretty much farm to table, or just really fresh produce. We had all of the, how do I explain this? All at a shared table.
So we had the vendors sit with us and explain their craft and product.
We were so lucky. We were sat at the table with all the vendors. Like, you can pay to get a ticket to these events, and you sort of sit in the same room as the vendors, and they explain it as it's in front of you. Like, for example, there was truffles, and the lady from the truffle farm was talking about those truffles in particular, how they grew, like, you know, how they got to that table. Yeah. And then there was a mushroom guy. There was a
pork lady.
I love how we're calling them pork lady. But yeah, so it was...
Shouts to Judy.
yes. It was really inspiring to see those people and their businesses, and like see it on the plate in front of us from this awesome chef who cooked it up for us. So highly recommend going to Shared Table in Ballarat if you're around the area. It's so worth it. Tommy, what was your favorite video?
To be honest, I was going to say the same video because that was also my favorite.
Wait, so what did you think my favorite was going to be?
I thought you were going to say Puppy's Pizza.
Oh, yeah, which is also top-notch. Highly recommend.
Yeah, I think I was really happy that one was like a really good video of ours. Not only because like it reached a lot of people, but because we did it for someone who's... can we just say it's like... Yeah, so we did it for Megan's cousin.
Yeah, who owns Puppy's Pizza in Mornington Peninsula. It was a hit on our TikTok, as it should be. Like, the pizza is phenomenal. They've got a really cool vibe down there. They're literally overlooking the ocean in Rye.
Yeah, I just thought that was a really fun video to do. It was a really great day. Just so much to love about it.
Oh, shout out Tristan and Em.
Nice.
yeah, so that's our favorite videos.
Mm. Do you have a question for me?
What I wanted to cover with you was like, what are your goals for Weekender in the future? / where do you want this to go?
Well, currently, I would like Weekender Creative to be like, totally transparent, honest, like our like financial vehicle.
Yeah.
I would love for it to be a full-time thing for us where we can utilize this platform and brand to sustain, our lifestyle and like, just living in Melbourne.
Yeah.
So that would be like, really amazing if we could do that.
And what are the ways we're doing that?
I guess a lot of it comes down to content creation on like all these different platforms, including, we've got a TikTok going, we've got a podcast now. We've also got a YouTube channel, which we're aiming to post more on.
Yeah.
So being present on all of those platforms and hopefully being able to monetize as well through the platforms and also sponsors. If you guys want to be featured in a video, you can hit us up in our email or DM us. But yeah, we are open to different ways to finding a solution and options into making Weekender Creative just like a sustainable way of living for us.
Because it is like where our passions lie, and it's something that we really enjoy doing. And of course, you want to monetize something you're passionate about, like, or just be passionate about our full-time job, I guess. And that's what we want this to be. In saying that, we are going to be 100% like transparent with you guys, and we'll take you along this journey with us. We'll tell you like the highs and lows of like trying to do this and like trying to make this a full-time gig, that will be covered on the podcast. That's what this podcast is here for, literally the ins and outs of Weekender. We won't be sharing any of this stuff like anywhere else. Yeah, I guess you'll just find like that side of things here.
Yeah, and I think we both hope that you find this kind of content like motivational and inspiring for your own journeys.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone's got their own passions and like things they want to maybe work towards. So hopefully as we are on our journey, you can be on your own journey and we can maybe support each other as well into making our dreams come true.
Oh, that's so cute. Like also we want to involve everybody as much as possible. We want to like hear what you guys want to hear from us. Like if you have any questions about starting a business, about creating content, about getting motivated for content, anything revolving this world, please let us know. We're happy to answer. And like also we'll probably have questions for you. Like engage with us in comment sections, follow us on Instagram at weekendercreative, and we can all sort of create sort of a community and like.
Yeah, I think that's what we want to do is like just have a community of people who can find their own kind of like value and place within, I guess, this, not even just Weekender Creative, but like, in this big connected world.
Yeah.
Whether you're someone who is looking for recommendations, whether you are, a vendor yourself, or like you have a particular activity that you'd like to promote, or, you want to connect with other people to do, I think maybe you can do it like, through Weekender Creative.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, what kind of like, obviously this is being like, our first episode of this podcast. What kind of episode topics are you looking forward to making?
Ooh, I'm really looking forward to interviewing some like-minded people in this content creation world, but also business owners. We meet a lot of them through what we do, and we want to hear their stories and we want to share them with you. I really love interviewing people. So that's personally what I'm excited about. What about you? What are you excited about?
Yeah, I'm also really excited about like interviewing different people and like, talking about their craft and passion or like their interests. I would also like to just like share our experience in like, living in Australia, being Melburnians, talking about what that is like. Yeah, I am really excited to continue on with the podcast. I think it's going to be very exciting. I think we're going to be talking about a lot of cool things and meeting cool people and, eating and drinking good stuff while we're at it. So maybe another cheers to our podcast.
Cheers.
Cheers to us.
Yeah, cheers. Don't break my glasses. That's pretty much it. That's sort of wrapped up like what weekend. It's like encompass what Weekender is, what we're about, what we're going to do, who we are. We'll get more in depth in future episodes. Please let us know what you guys want to hear about. That's the whole point of this podcast, is like, you know, talking about things that people want to hear. So let us know. Engage with us on Instagram and TikTok. We're at weekendercreative. We've also got YouTube at weekendercreative, which this will be posted on also. So we're going to be posting vlogs and podcasts on the YouTube.
Yep.
If you're listening to us on audio, we're on Spotify, Apple, where you find your podcasts.
Wherever you...
We are where you are.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. She said it best.
Anything else?
I just think that's like a nice little way to wrap it up. I think we, gave you a little bit of a teaser into what we're working on. And, you might just have to stick around and find out.
Ooh. All right. Well, we have been Weekender Creative. We'll see you soon.
See you guys.
Bye.
Woo! 1, 2, 3, let's go!